trying to avoid that.
Today's Summer's birthday.
It is.
What do you do? 2 years old?
We had a little birthday party for. Well, save it for the box. Get the cameras
on.
rolling.
We're rolling.
Oh, we rolling?
Yeah.
All right.
Can you hear me?
I can.
I can.
No, I know you can hear me, but is the sound okay? Because we moved this thing.
We'll let the experts do that.
Okay. Well.
Steven, you would let us know, right, if you weren't hearing us correctly?
Well, I always wonder, do they need to be pointed directly at us, or is it okay what he's doing?
Yeah.
Right, but does it it shouldn't be facing up. You're saying the top should be facing right at your mouth.
No, I'm just saying, if I'm speaking directly at the top of it, doesn't matter.
So, like, you see how he's doing?
But I'm speaking like across the top.
Right.
You know what?
Okay, so that's okay.
So this is okay.
Just can't follow the rules.
I just
It looks good. It looks good.
It actually looks a little weird.
Listen.
Okay.
It does.
I'm going to really try super hard to stop finding fault with so many things in Terry because I think it's bothering him.
It does.
Although, I think
unless we give equal time to the positive
Terry,
things that he
you're going to
does.
step into a manhole, and please.
Then we say something.
Yes, I mean those.
No, but I think you do a
apparent.
lot of it intentionally.
Like what?
I'll give you an example.
Yeah, give me an example.
And when I say intentionally,
you say it with loving. I know you.
No, not at all. I include negligence in there.
Well, that's like saying, "Oh, I'm going to tell you all the white things you do, but here's some black things you do too." I mean, no. I mean, you can't say these are things you do unintentionally.
Here, I'll give you an example of when I refer to negligent.
Yes, go ahead.
When we were going to lunch about, call it a year ago.
Okay. Oh, that one.
Where do you want to go? Why don't we go to that Uncle Julio's? Now, the name Julio, I have never heard in my life. No one in this room, including you, have ever heard in your life. But you know what name you've heard a lot? Julio. I know you watched Sanford and Son. Wasn't there a character named Julio in Sanford and Son?
There are.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There are Julios everywhere.
So you think I did that on purpose for what end?
I don't know what it is.
To be disrespectful to Spanish speakers?
No. I don't think it
Maybe he was just
disrespect.
Being cute.
No, that
you don't
wasn't
think it was just an attempt to be cute?
Oh, I'm certain
By
it wasn't.
pronouncing it
What? I'll
literally?
be honest with you.
It's like, you know what it is?
This is the worst thing that I've done to you in the last year.
It's not even the worst thing you've probably done today.
No, but it's not that. We're just talking about.
But it annoys you.
Oh no, I wouldn't say that.
So what about it do you find makes it worthy of commenting?
Oh wow, it's.
I mean,
it's,
you
I
think
guess,
is it the comfort with which he chooses to do something incorrectly?
Let's say I did this. Let's say when I drank, right? Instead of drinking out of a cup like this, I held it up here and spilled it into my mouth.
Wait.
And most of it's getting in my mouth, but it's also splashing all over me.
So wait.
Wouldn't you say? You know, Andy, most people drink out of a cup it's so ridiculous that you would say Julio.
But you feel those were equivalent actions, what you've just described.
No, I was the first thing I could think of.
Okay, maybe
it would
come
just,
up with something.
It's ridiculous.
To me, it's
ridiculous.
Listen,
first of all,
I think
obviously I don't remember.
He's hardwired to amuse. I think that he had an instinct to amuse.
No, I
he
promise
pronounced
you.
it very phonetically.
No, if that was it, if that was it, I would have forgotten about it.
So if you take attempting to make a little joke,
then I would never have remembered it.
So tell me, if I didn't do it accidentally, right?
Wait, hold on. Let me think this. So you didn't do it accidentally.
You don't accidentally say Julio.
I didn't do it. I just made a mistake in pronunciation.
Accidentally, negligently, accidentally.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's not.
And we are negligent attorneys.
Julio.
That's
you may be the first person on earth.
But again, let's take accident and just go with me for this.
I'm going.
So it wasn't an accident.
It was in the category.
Tell me the motive that I would have to do that.
I believe it was to amuse.
What was I doing?
I think it was a
first
simple
of all,
moment of amusement.
No. It definitely wasn't that.
Okay, it wasn't that.
No, it wasn't.
It feels like
that. Do you remember this?
I wasn't there. I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. No, it definitely wasn't amusement.
I've never been to either Uncle Julio's or Uncle Julio's with you.
I feel like
I've been there many times, but not with Terry.
I thought we ate there together.
Going back to it, whether he was there or not. So I didn't do it.
You know what? It's genetic. It's like, don't you remember your mother did the same thing?
She mispronounced things.
You have
first of all, we did have lunch there. I might have been there. Did we meet with John Simon there or one of those guys?
Now, Terry and I had lunch with Jim Onder there once, and I thought you were there.
It might have been Jim Onder.
But so tell me, what do you think I was doing? Why would I do such a thing?
If I knew what you were doing half the time.
But
Can I interject for a moment?
What do you think?
Is there any chance we could bring on some food? You guys can argue about the pronunciation of Julio, and I could be eating a delicious sandwich.
That's a good idea. If I knew what you were doing, no, I don't know.
But it annoyed you.
No.
Well, you bring it up as if you were
Here's a better question.
So.
Why do you think that stayed in your head?
It was just shocking.
To this day. That was shocking.
Shocking.
Yes, because it is. I guess
if you must be shocked all day
by you. No. So I brought it up as an example. I think.
Jen, you can bring on the food while he's talking.
Well, I think you commonly mispronounce things that are in regular, widespread usage, and I just don't understand how a very smart, worldly man.
Okay, well,
let me ask you a question.
Mispronounces.
Maybe spoken.
Oh, get that over here. I got a knife.
Can I say this about the Sweet Spot Cafe? They're their featured restaurant today, and we were only, of course, ordered sandwiches because that's what we do.
I like their logo.
They were so kind. They included an entire box of donuts or treats, or I don't know. We'll see what's in there.
Going back to the Jen,
that's all bonus. We moved on to food.
Jen, how long have I known you?
Either this is the strongest sticker I've ever had, or I need a knife sharpener.
You're blocking the cameras. Here, give them all to Andy. Andy cuts everything.
I'm the official.
So wait, I've known you 10 years.
Yeah.
Do you find that what he's saying, does this sound like Terry's always mispronouncing?
No. Now you're putting words in my mouth.
No, but you said that, and I would think if she's heard me say 20 million words, she must have observed the same phenomenon.
No, it doesn't happen often.
Have you observed?
I have not observed you deliberately mispronouncing words. However, I have observed you many times seeking little moments of amusement, which is why my conclusion is if you did that, it was just.
I think
you found it momentarily amusing.
I'm doing a very poor job.
It wasn't.
Of explaining.
I just can't figure out what other motivation there would have been.
I don't think so.
It was like, so his mother used to do this as well. We had...
we can use paper towel.
Do you have some plates also?
She was looking for plates, but I said we could use paper towel.
No.
Just bring those over.
Because I don't.
The whole roll.
Oh,
I go through a lot of paper towel. Just bring
Are
the
you
whole
saying that
roll.
you don't think you commonly mispronounce things? Not all the time, but more than...
No.
Oh, you're known for this. You're known for this.
I don't think so. I don't think so. And I don't. Have I ever... You know what I used to mispronounce?
Too long.
I think so. I was going to get my wife on the phone, but you know what? Actually, hold on one second. Let's stop. Let's move on.
Let's move to the sandwiches because they're still warm. And it's so rare that we get a warm sandwich.
Mental health professionals ever see this, please contact me and tell me if I'm wrong.
Well, they don't know the situation.
Well, I would contact Andy
directly.
You
all that you could. What was the word?
On that one. Do we know, Jen, do we know which sandwiches they've given us here?
Hold on.
She says it's the three most popular.
Maybe a little special guest here for you for this episode. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, God.
No, those are the treats that they gave us as extra.
I'm going to put those aside. I'm going to put
keep
those
that
aside
a little bit of a surprise.
Did you have I think Jen ran to get some plates. Oh, God, what is this?
Well, that looks like that might be their burger that's made on a glazed donut. Does that look like a glazed donut cheeseburger?
No, that's exactly what that looks.
That's just outside. See, to me,
it looks like
one does and things one doesn't does. and putting a donut
It's a
on
glazed
a hamburger.
donut.
You guys are
just
talking over each other, and
wrong.
it's not going to play
I
well.
think he's mumbling. I'm not sure
I think that he was just he was
saying.
just putting out a lot of skepticism over the
concept.
efficacy
I don't
of putting
see
a
the
burger
donut.
between
Yeah,
donut.
donuts
That's a
and
salty and
burgers,
sweet thing.
They
No.
can be in the same.
Well, let me say
meal,
this to you,
but not in
Terry.
the same
I,
bite.
there was a time in my life I would have agreed with that statement, but I've watched so many cooking shows, and here's what I've learned: there are no foods. There are flavor profiles and textures, and that's it.
Yeah.
So when they're doing a show like Chopped, and they get these basket ingredients,
Yeah.
the way the chef is looking at the basket ingredients
Yeah.
isn't like, oh, I have to use a lamb's thing and I have to use Tic Tacs. No, they're looking at it and saying, is it sweet, sour, bitter,
Yeah.
umami? You know, is
yeah.
it salty? And they're also saying, is it
Did
crunchy? Is
did
it
you
smooth?
just get excited and say, "Ooh, mommy"?
Ooh, mommy.
No.
No, and what they do is, once they know
weird.
what the flavor profile is and the texture,
Yeah.
that's all they pay attention to. And a sweet thing like that, they don't see it as a donut. They just
Pork
see it
would
as
be
a
nice.
smooth sweet.
I was not speaking for all humanity. I was saying for my taste profile.
Also, we found
those-
something that you
those-
don't speak for the
those don't
common
work.
man on.
No, they don't. No, I can't speak for everybody.
I can't. I've never had
Although
one of
the
these.
common man.
Did Jen go get
would
us
not
a
eat a donut
plate?
You know,
Except
that's
see,
a pretty common
this
taste.
is where this is what takes me to your earlier thing, because these were given to us as their 3 most popular sandwiches. Your connection to the common man may not be in this one area as strong as you
Wait,
think
hold
it
on.
is.
I suspect that in the beginning, no one ate meat on bread.
When it all began.
That's
no,
right.
No,
and at some point, somebody said, "Hey, let's combine that peanut butter and that chocolate."
Well,
and all of a
first-
sudden, there's
well, it's like
Reese's
those
peanut
old
butter
commercials,
cups.
right? Where
First of
you
all.
got my chocolate and my peanut
That's right.
butter, and I got my peanut butter
No,
and your
I'm
chocolate.
just saying personally,
Yeah.
a sweet
But have
donut.
you had one?
I have not.
So
I
you're
think-
sharing a personal experience that you haven't actually had personally.
But I do think you've
I-
had sweet and salty
Right.
in many ways
You know,
that you're
I
not
know-
thinking of.
No, but I have
You know,
had.
he doesn't like sweet and salty.
I don't like that.
He
He doesn't.
together.
I've heard him declare
You like
that.
pancakes
I do.
with syrup?
I do.
Boom.
Yeah, but there's no salt in that.
There's no salt.
It's savory with sweet.
No,
Okay. Do you like
Where
chicken
were
and
we?
waffles?
No, actually, I don't like. The
And
sweet.
where
You know
were we?
why? It's the
Sweet
same
and salty.
principle.
Okay, hold on,
Sweet-
hold on.
He
let's
just
see.
and to be fair to him,
I'm
Whoa.
consistent.
wow,
What-
folks,
what
we've
is
we've
this?
classed up the show.
Can you
Somehow we have found glass plates.
Wow.
These look like the kind that would have been hanging on a wall at a country store.
They were. We
This
stole
doesn't
them.
seem like they were bought anywhere.
all right.
They're real plates.
So we start with, I guess we're starting right out with a glazed donut
Yeah,
cheeseburger.
I'm going right for it.
I'm really going
Would
to focus
you-
on watching Terry eat his because he's convinced that there's no way in the world he'll like that.
If you had ketchup at your disposal, do you think you would use it?
Now, there is a chink in my armor.
Whoa. Is that the right expression? Because that doesn't sound right.
What? Yes.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
You've never heard the expression? A
I've
chink in
heard
your
something
armor?
that
I
sounds
think he may
like
be
it.
concerned
No, I understand.
in doing that little filter of, is that still a socially acceptable phrase
I don't
given
know.
the alternate uses of
No,
the word?
the first question was, I know that there is an expression
I'm gonna
that
taste
sounds
this.
either that's it or very similar to it.
Would somebody have fun? I want to be doing it on air. Could somebody look up chink in the armor
did it
to see
again.
if it's a
It's
phrase?
an offensive term. It's not supposed to
No. I'm
No,
not saying.
I don't think it is.
I don't know that it is. I'm just not sure if it's another Uncle Julio.
Okay.
Or if
Oh, wait.
what
Yeah,
we
then
got
look it
here.
up.
Let me say this.
That would be great.
Did you
have-
look it up?
And what'd you
And?
find out, Stephen?
Jake in one's armor.
Yes, but
So it is.
It
oh,
doesn't
wait,
have
wait.
any negative
I'm just asking.
overtones. Listen, there's a lot of expressions.
Now search for chink in the armor
Offensive.
racist. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
see if
particularly the first word that starts with the letter C.
It may not be.
we know
There-
that word is offensive, but we don't know if it's offensive in this
Well,
context.
wait.
There are
There
words.
must be a word chink, right?
Whoa. Wait. Just
must
can
mean
we
something.
just we don't have to keep repeating it.
Well, I never heard anybody complain about it. But let me, I turn my phone
Is that
off.
mine?
All right,
Did you
so,
take my drink?
No.
all right, guys.
Is this yours?
You know,
Terry,
I
have you
think-
tasted it yet?
No, I'm asking. Is this yours?
No, this
Okay.
is mine.
Andy, you've tasted it. What do you think?
I think I'm the donut seems like it's almost sort of neutralized And I'm getting more just the texture of the donut, which is good. It's not crazy sweet. The only thing I don't like about it is, sometimes a glazed donut will leave a little like almost waxy sensation on the roof of your mouth for a second. But that's always with the glazed donut. I think it's actually, would I ever go out to dinner and order this? No, it's a little decadent, but it is delicious.
And don't you think it's one of those, if you've been out having a little bit too good of a time and it's that late night, you want to eat something, that's a late night
and also,
sandwich.
I would put ketchup on it.
Yeah, now I will say that what I like about it is, donut aside, that's a good quality burger.
Yeah, it's a nice burger.
Yeah, good meat, thick.
If you're going to put a burger on a donut, you've got to have a good burger.
Now, I used that horribly offensive phrase, and I apologize to all our listeners because I've offended millions of people. I do apologize.
I think technically
inadvertently, but I was going to say, I do like ketchup on a burger.
Yeah, I do too.
And ketchup does have a certain sweetness.
It does.
Yeah, there you go.
Does.
Yeah. So, hey, listen.
But there's no salty.
What am I? I'm bringing it up.
No, I think putting a burger.
This is a little too sweet
Now,
for me.
let's look at this next one. This looks like one of the Phillies, does it not?
Yeah. So you would not go out and get a burger on a glazed donut.
To be honest with you, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I thought it was great. I thought it was very good. I was very pleasantly
No, it's a little
surprised.
too sweet for me.
We have some sort of Philly here.
Trust you. I think that's just their classic Philly cheesesteak.
It looks very good, I'll tell you that.
What's the name of the place?
It's Sweet Spot Cafe.
Where is it?
It is in St. Anne. You went all the way to St. Anne for us. Thank you, Jen. That was very nice of you.
I need my knife.
There's a lot
They're
of
on
sugar.
Addy Road. Am I saying that right?
What's that?
Addy Road. 80
Oh,
Road.
Ed's doing it now.
I know, but it's a little different. I asked the question, and that is not a word as common as Julio.
Come on, you did it. Just say we all do it.
Did we find out if that is, because I know I can think of.
Good one, Brody?
There are other things that are words that sound quite racist that actually are not.
I know the one you're thinking of. Don't say it.
I
won't even say that word.
But it's not a word I use just because of that.
There are actually 2 locations of the Sweet Spot Cafe. Mm-hmm. They have the one on 80 Road in St. Anne. They also have one on Winghaven Boulevard in O'Fallon, Missouri. You know who else has a place in O'Fallon, Missouri? Brown and Crouppen, Highway K. Come check it out.
Hey, come and see.
That's nice.
Yeah, I wonder if our O'Fallon people ever go out to the Sweet Spot.
I'm a member of several Facebook communities. One's a pizza, St. Louis Pizza, St. Louis Sandwiches. My life is fairly self-contained in the Central Corridor, and I'm always amazed at how St. Louis is weird because I think we talk about all of these municipalities that make up St. Louis and act like it's just sort of this artificial political thing that doesn't mean anything and we should merge. But the reality is St. Louis in some ways is these little municipalities are in some ways sort of self-contained. St. Louis is sort of a city made up of a lot.
I think it's made up of neighborhoods. I always say it like a lot of people they're quick to say sometimes negative things about St. Louis City. But the truth of it is, there are some phenomenal neighborhoods in the city that we're on the hill. That's where our office is, on the hill. I love this neighborhood. I would live on the hill. You do live on the hill.
It's a beautiful place.
I also think, and you used to live in the Central West End, which I think is a great area over there.
Wonderful.
Very different. Totally different vibe. And it's just a mile down the road.
But there are a lot of restaurants.
Grove is nice.
But isn't that what cities
in these areas?
Yeah, neighborhoods. But they're so different. Like Soulard is so different than the Grove. Well, maybe not the Grove.
But there are tons of pizza and sandwich places that aren't in the Central Corridor that are St. Louis institutions, some of them, and you never hear about them because people don't move in and out of their neighborhoods like that.
I wish people would
so I'm
let
glad
us know
we're going
about
to a place in St. Anne and finding this wonderful restaurant because it's just not somewhere that would normally be on my radar.
I will say this. I love their menu. It's got everything. It's got smoothies. They've got ice creams and shakes. Okay. They've got espresso drinks and espresso flavors. They have a lot of sugar-free options on their coffee drinks, which, for me is good because that's not where I like to pick up my calories.
I need to get a sharper
good kids
knife.
menu. Let's see what we got. I mean, this is This is a nice place. They got some hummus and baba ganoush. I mean, they got gyro and falafel, but it's not really a straight Mediterranean place. They have. It's almost like they took the best items off of all of the fun places you like to eat and stuck it on one menu.
Which would be smart.
It is. That would be smart. It's kind of like what they were trying to do with Babu.
There was a place. There was a place in New York, like the American Cafe, where they had like fried chicken from the South, and they had gumbo from the.
Oh yeah, it's like Goldbelly.
Remember?
Yeah, there was also a place called, I think, Stanton Social, and what they did, it was a great concept. I don't think it's there anymore, but what they did was it was basically a tapas restaurant, but it wasn't Spanish food. It was like one would be like.
Is this a gyro?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one would be like mac and cheese balls, and then they'd have little pizza squares. They took the concept of tapas, but just applied it to all different types of cuisine and just made it mini. So you could order all different types of food.
I love that. Why don't more places do that?
I don't know. It's great.
Probably hard to do.
Not if that's your business.
I mean, you'll see an appetizer.
How many restaurants have you gone in and the food's just no good? A shocking number.
Right.
For people that have put their time and their money and their futures onto making a restaurant.
Well,
how many restaurants
what's the best meal you've eaten recently in St. Louis?
You know, Adriana's always good.
No, I want something not a casual meal. Adriana's is always good.
You had a good one. Could you send me a picture of it?
Oh, yeah. That's what it was. That's what I was thinking of.
Where?
I ate at Louis the other night.
What is that?
So remember, there was King Louis on Shoto, which I just found out. The building is owned, and it's an event space, by the people who own Oliva across the street.
Oh, really?
I like that guy. He's nice.
Very nice. Yeah, I like him a lot. So they own and operate that as an event space, which I didn't know. I thought it was just decrepit. What's his Mark Urker.
By the way, I just ate the donut part.
Yeah.
Of the thing. It's a good donut.
Oh
yeah. So anyway, Louis, but they have I happened to be going there, but I had just had a conversation with Ed a few days earlier that he believes that the gnocco, not gnocchi, gnocco, which is basically a big gnocchi, at Louis is the best dish served in any restaurant in St. Louis. He may be right. It's basically a big gnocchi with like a bolognese sauce and big chunks of meat with it, and it was outstanding.
Do you think that is the key sauce for Italian? In other words, if you had to have one, because we ate at a really good Italian place in Washington after you guys left. And there, the meat sauce was just incredible.
Yeah.
If you've ever in Italy,
I think a meat sauce is the defining characteristic of
so.
an Italian restaurant because
grill?
everything flows from the meat sauce.
Everything is just. I'll tell you.
Listen, you can't pride yourself on being the common man and then not be able to take it when he gives you. I'm surprised he didn't go with Olive Garden.
No,
I think it was.
I was trying to come up with the name.
Classed it up a little.
He's insulting. It's not it's an insult.
He's having fun with his dad.
But it was really a good meal. But in Italy, a pasta with meat sauce, there's a certain taste. I've only got it like twice outside of Italy. You know where I got it? At Disney World. Disney
Where
World.
in Epcot?
In Epcot. At the
Epcot's
Italian
very authentic.
At the
it's
Italian,
very authentic.
Pavilion. It had.
They have good food at Epcot.
Somebody made it. But
everybody who worked there is from Italy. I mean, they bring in people from the countries.
No, and it's Alfredo's of Rome. I mean, it's a real top-notch restaurant.
You know, we talked about this somewhere the other day, and I don't know why this is not like a place like Katie's, a place that gets a high volume of people. The cacio e pepe. Were you in that conversation?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Sure.
Where they take the fettuccine noodles,
the wagon of cheese,
and
wheel of cheese.
Yeah.
You put the little heat on it. It starts to melt. You start scraping it in.
Caramelizes onto the noodles.
Oh, it's
that
so
is
fantastic.
One of the greatest
in Barcelona that makes. It's one of the best restaurants. they give you everybody. If everybody gets a pasta dish, or if any individual gets a pasta dish, they give a little dish of the pasta to everybody else at the table.
That's such a nice touch. Don't you like it when you go to a restaurant and they know that you're going to share something, and when they bring it to the table, they've already done it. They've put it on different plates.
Yeah.
I think that's a class move. It doesn't cost the place any extra money, but it makes a statement. Right. I also like when they pack up your leftovers. I think that's a class move. I don't think it costs them extra money.
No, you're right.
And then, the thing is, they could, they do it, put a little saran on it so nothing leaks.
But when you give everybody a little taste,
that's a wonderful thing.
Whatever pasta everybody else got, and they're making it in a giant wheel of Parmesan. Yeah. I mean, I'm
going to you know how expensive a wheel of Parmesan is?
It's a fortune, but I mean, it's huge.
What's your guess? Like one of those big wheels of Parmesan
That's a couple grand of Parmesan.
Oh, no. I think it's more? Like 10 or something. I mean, they're insanely expensive.
I think you get a lot out of it. I'm going to share, so that you don't think that we just sit around poking fun at Terry. I'm going to share one of Terry's pro tips.
That's a good name for the show.
Poking fun at Terry?
Yeah, poking fun at Terry.
Listen, but I'm going to share a pro tip.
That Euro meat is great. I think it's clearly homemade.
They sliced it a little thicker than you normally get, but it worked.
I think they want you to know it's homemade.
It was delicious. Now, I'm going to share a pro tip. I'm going to credit this to Terry because I do this all the time if I'm in a group, and it was a great move. So if you go to a restaurant, especially if you're traveling and it's a place you may never get back to, you go to a restaurant, if they have something that they are known for, it is their special. It may not necessarily be the thing that you want to try because it's not your taste, but it's their signature dish. Yeah. What you taught me was, you know what? Let's everyone order your dinner, and then when it gets to your signature dish, what are you doing? You know what? I'm glad that you did this, Stephen, because let me tell you, one of my pet peeves in restaurants.
Are you finished?
Yeah, one of my biggest pet peeves in restaurants is when I'm clearly holding court, I'm sharing a story, I have everyone's attention, and the waiter hovers over me and breaks up my flow. So, Stephen, you happened, and this is good because we could talk about it on the podcast and everybody can see my issues. You stumbled on one of my absolute pet peeves, which is, and I think servers, and I know their job is hard, but one of the toughest things is knowing how to transition in and out.
Thank you.
So that they are not constantly disturbing the very thing that the people are trying to do, which is congregate with each other and have a flow of things.
Well, it's like any profession. You can see the people who take it seriously as a career.
Hold it. He wants to take our shirts off, so he's going to wash them.
And do it with excellence. And the people are just doing it for a paycheck.
Anyway, so Terry's pro tip is this.
I wiggle out of my pants, okay? So I'm going to just put them over
unintentionally. And you were right. A wheel of Parmesan's about $3,000 for a nice one.
Okay. Getting back to, and it would be great if everyone followed the rule of not jumping on everyone. But listen, that said, I'm trying to give Terry some effing credit here.
Oh, please.
For an idea that he exposed us to that I think was a real problem solver and a real special thing. And that is whenever we're in a restaurant and you're with a group of people and they have a signature dish, Terry said, everybody get whatever dinner you think you're going to enjoy. And we're going to get their signature dish and we're going to put it in the middle of the table so that everybody at least has a chance to try what this place is known for. And I thought, brilliant move. Why not?
Now, let me
you can do it. You don't have to have that debate of, do I do the thing they're famous for or do I do the thing that I think I'll actually enjoy?
That's how we ate the gnocco the other night.
Table
for the table.
Now let me thank that man.
Thank you very much.
From him.
Now let me tell you something that I've done recently.
Oh boy, is it the thing where you clean your ear with a key?
No.
Okay. Okay, never mind.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, that thing.
Okay,
it's perfect.
Sorry.
It's perfect.
Honest mistake.
Well, you know what? Who's got a key anymore? I ask people for a key. No. What I've started to do is I like to have dessert.
Okay.
And as you know, in modern culture, in a certain group of people who I happen to find myself in, nobody wants dessert. Oh, I couldn't eat another thing. These are people.
No. They all want dessert. They're depriving themselves.
Finish. So what everybody always does is I order a dessert. And then they give extra spoons, and they eat my whole dessert.
Of course they do.
So now, what I say to people is, I'm not getting any extra spoons. Don't ask me for a bite. You had the opportunity. I begged you in most instances. Order a damn dessert. So
you've introduced the concept of selfishness into
no, you know what? I like just realism.
What if they don't want to? What if they just want to try your dessert?
They can't. My dessert is a fixed portion which they serve for one person to have a dessert.
Let me say this.
I offered it to everybody, and you all acted
that's your right.
like you were, well, remember, people turn down desserts with a certain smug.
They do.
Just
like when they say, "I never eat at McDonald's." They're
basically saying,
accomplishment.
"Fatty, I'm better than you are." That's what they always are doing.
You know what you should do?
Like that. So now I just say no.
Let me improve upon.
If you want a dessert, order gesund. That's a Yiddish phrase.
Honestly,
go ahead.
I think he's right.
Let me improve upon this because I agree with you 100%, but I think there's a better way to do it because this opens up the opportunity for an "I told you so." Whatever dessert you order 2 of them. One for you. The other one, you just leave on the table. Nobody touches it. Oh, well.
You take it home.
You take it home or give it back to the restaurant. Let them eat it.
If it wasn't for that, Fatty's ordering a dessert, and I'm too good for that. I would do that because that would be an act of great kindness.
But I
in that
feel
moment, you don't
their
want to be
whole
kind.
smugness about not ordering dessert just really gets on my nerves. Because they eat my dessert.
Right, but this is what this allows you to do.
I see the pain.
They're going to eat that dessert. And so then you get to say, "I told you so."
Maybe I could write them a little
Next
note.
time, just order your own dessert.
Or maybe I call about 2 a.m. that morning, the next morning while they're sleeping, I'm going to call them up and say, can I use
No.
Let's not.
What do you think the least
Never.
ordered item on this is? What do you think the least ordered item on a menu is generally? Like something that every place has. But you're like, who's ordering
probably
that?
a fish.
What do you think?
Fridays, though.
What do you think should be?
Well, I don't like fish. I don't eat seafood.
I don't like vegetables.
That's true. There's probably but there's always somebody dieting, and they're always I'll take the vegetable. They don't touch it, but they'll take it.
And they do it with that same smug. Oh, you're having French fries? Oh, for you.
Listen, I've spent my whole life as a heavy person. I'm on your team here.
Speaking of,
who pays for
I think this is an appropriate
I don't have even any room for
to
these.
Bring out.
Are you kidding me? Give me them freaking donuts.
Let me show you what we've got.
Oh, wow.
And if anybody would like a whole one, take it. If anybody wants me to slice them up a little something.
Is there any cauliflower?
Oh, you know what that is? That's a. What do they call those? Oh, a cronut.
Oh,
I believe
a combination of a croissant and a donut.
Yeah,
that's a bad combination. What's the matter? Why wasn't a donut good enough for you?
I don't know. Where does the Corella fit into that?
Let's see. We have some Long Johns, got some twists. It looks like a red velvet.
Yeah, I like cake donuts.
I see a cake donut. I see a devil's food cake donut right in front of the red velvet. And the red velvet's a cake donut. That's a cake donut.
This may also be cake.
Yeah, you got a lot of cake.
Yeah,
that's a glazed cake. We didn't have it. I was saying.
Well, what would you like?
Why don't we try one cake donut and one non-cake donut?
Ed, what do you want a bite of?
Why don't you just take whatever you want?
Well, I'm cutting it for you. Tell me what you want.
Let's start with the basic.
Who's cutting a donut?
Let's start with the basic. That middle
if
donut in
anybody
front.
would like a whole donut, let me know, and I will pass it to you.
You know what we should
If you want a piece of a donut, I will cut it.
I think we should.
I want everybody to know this is my whole life.
I'll eat a whole donut.
This is my whole life.
But what if you don't want a whole donut? You want half of that and half of that. You might want to. Just tell me what you want.
Is there a plain
middle center? Is what
yes, there is.
Wait, but that's not a cake donut. No, middle donut front. Middle front.
These are the three.
What's this?
Cake. That's a This looks like a cinnamon sugar.
I don't like cinnamon donuts.
The back one.
How do you guys live your lives?
That back's a cake. That's a blueberry cake
just
donut.
Give me an idea what the difference in these three are.
I don't work at the restaurant. I don't know. I'm looking at them just like you are.
You cut yourself one and then push the
and
box
this is the problem with variety. Because Krispy Kreme was smart. When they gave you a box and it was all the same frickin' donut, everybody was just happy to get a donut.
It's just a donut.
The variety is causing...
Let me see
the issues.
Let me see if you have one memory.
Yeah.
A good memory of your childhood.
Yeah.
Do you remember being in Macon, Georgia, at the Quail's Nest, on our way to Florida? Go ding, 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 anything?
So far,
okay.
Yeah,
and afterward,
yes-ish.
we drove by the first
I wasn't with you.
Krispy Kreme, you were.
I was not.
That we've ever seen, because they had a conveyor belt of dripping icing.
Because I remember you talking about it. I was not with you. You did, and I don't remember why or what the deal was, but I was not there.
I will share an interesting factoid about Krispy Kreme. They did invent that machine that does them automatically, and it kind of lazy rivers along the oil. Yeah, and what's interesting is originally they were never going to be direct to consumer. They were just going to be wholesaling to retailers like supermarkets. And they happened to build their plant next to a factory, and the factory workers next door kept smelling these delicious donuts being made. So they kept coming over wanting to buy donuts, but they weren't available for sale. Finally, one of the founders poked a hole through the wall and made the first kind of walk-up window, and they started giving them walk-up window just because of the factory.
Can I cut you something or pass you the box?
Yeah, just, give me like a little quarter of that cinnamon one. I do like cinnamon. I like to keep it. I'm having a little coffee.
Low in calorie.
Yeah.
And we're good for you.
Yeah.
How many do you think you'd eat a day?
2 dozen.
Well, I don't know if I could, but...
Every day.
I think there's nothing better.
Here, let me try to
do
that a little better.
I mean, that's hard to argue with. They're so good.
I mean, it seems like the perfect flavor for human beings.
Well, good donuts.
Yeah, this one, taste this one. This one's got a little brightness to it.
Do you think you'd eat 5 donuts a day if they were good for you? No?
Definitely not.
What if they were good for you, though? What if instead of, they'd say you got to get 5 servings of fruit and vegetable a day?
Instead of water.
Yeah, what if they said, like 8 glasses of water? I would have said, there's no way I'm going to drink that.
If they said that's killing you.
That's just a big volume of donuts. I just couldn't see myself.
Because you think they're bad for you.
No, it's a lot of eating one. That's a big volume.
But what about 64 ounces of water a day? That sounds like a lot of water.
It is.
Water and food are very different.
Why? They take up space.
The water space is much more temporary and goes right through you, as opposed to having to go through.
You don't think you could have one donut every 2 hours? For the sake of good health,
could,
under your scenario.
But I just don't see myself doing that. That seems like a big commitment.
And just go with me a little.
Yeah.
Why would a loving God not make donuts good for you? Why would he make cauliflower good for you?
I'm with you, man.
I mean, that's like cruel.
It's the forbidden
you want to be
fruit,
healthy, you want to live a long time, healthy life, but you got to eat something that's just crap. Why couldn't you just eat donuts? I mean, if with a blink of his eye,
and here's
he could make it that way.
Terry, here's how you know you're right. As it relates to, like, look at your dog. You ever give your dog treats? If you give your dog a little piece of a donut, they will lap it up and eat it in an instant.
No,
but if you put a piece of broccoli in front of your dog, they're going to smell it and walk away, and they're going to give you the stink eye.
Actually,
like, they'll be angry.
My friend Rich said, why would a loving God make parrots live to be 80 years old and dogs live to be 15? That's such a mean thing to do.
Let's say this, a loving God wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't want to get controversial. Wouldn't have a parrot live to 80 and a dog live to 15.
Although you have a whole theory on dogs living long being a good thing.
Yes, I wrote a story about it. Here is my thinking on it, and tell me if there's some logic. Kids usually start begging their parents for a pet, a dog or a cat, 3, 4, 5 years old. And, the parents will resist for a little while, but eventually they give in. And then what happens is the dog, like, it's a 15-year commitment. So you're saying to yourself, all right, well, the kid's going to have it for like the next 10, 12 years. Then the kid's going to go to college. Kid will go to college. You're now an empty nester with an old dog. Mm-hmm. And in the next couple of years, you put the dog down and everybody moves on. If you knew that the dog had a 25-year or a 30-year life expectancy, I think there's a lot of people that maybe wouldn't get it because that seems like a really long-term commitment. And you have a 5-year-old asking for a dog and you're saying, yeah, you're asking for it now. What happens when you go off to college? Then I got to take care of your dog and for the next 10 years.
It's all about the right dog. When you get the right dog, and when you get, I've had a number of dogs. Some have been right, some have not been right. But when you get the right dog, there's nothing like
nothing better. Yeah, that's true.
But that said, you don't always get a great dog.
No, and you don't always get a great person. I mean, it is. You're
Listen,
right. There's no such thing.
I don't think there's anything better.
That produces great dogs.
Nothing better in this world. We covered 2 of the biggies: dogs and donuts.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you.
Honestly, it's two of my favorite things. I love a good dog, and I love a good donut.
You remember Debbie Sue?
Yeah.
I mean, she was just the sweetest little thing. When she was dying, she would crawl to get to the bathroom, to go to to go in a place where it wouldn't be hard to clean up. Oh,
that's a good
dog.
And
then then Goldie is just the sweetest dog in the world.
Great dog.
But you know what? Sweet dogs, I think, reflect the love they get. I think they're mirrors for the love they get.
I think that's true. Well, we've seen that. How many, not to make it about the law, but we see a lot of dog bite cases, and the common theme is this idea that it's not the dog's fault. That ultimately you always find that it's the owner.
I think temperament of dogs is somewhat, it's part
Why
of them.
Why wouldn't it be? Just like your children are a reflection of you.
But I think the love they get, they really, oh my God.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, that'll happen.
Oh, look at
if
that.
you've noticed a dramatic change in the lighting, simply
wow, there's like a bear trap.
How could you have done that? I think clearly either Jen or Brody are
sabotage.
Clearly they did
They're
that on
saboteurs.
Purpose. Maybe it was revenge for Stephen coming to clear the plates while I was mid-story. That's the only logic I can see.
I can't say.
As it all relates to me. I want to show you guys something.
Oh,
because I know
you got something to show us.
I do. I have a little show and tell. I brought it in with me. So you say I never prepare.
Do you have to remove any clothing to show us?
I don't have to, but I'm willing to.
No.
What I'm going to show you, I now have attached to my keychain in this little container.
Those eyes?
They're not eyes. They're ears. These are called the loop. And as you know, I have a little bit of misophonia. It means when I'm trying to concentrate and focus on something, background noises have an exponentially bad effect on me.
Diagnosed him with something.
I did. I pegged around online because when I'm not trying to focus and I'm just living life, all that I don't even notice all of those noises. But if I'm in a situation,
give him a pen, and I'll bet you'll notice it.
Yeah, well,
you're sensitive to this.
When I am trying to focus, it really does throw me. So these are not headphones. They don't play music. What they are designed to do is basically kill all of the background noise.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can listen to you and focus on you.
What can't you hear?
What?
That's good.
Here, wait. Get one of those pen that clicks. Let's see.
No, I mean, if I did something annoying,
I may still be able to hear it, but it would be so muffled that it would not be startling to me.
Do you think you'd hear Steve DeBosier opening up that candy?
You know what? I can hear that, but it is not sharp and annoying.
So it wouldn't bother you.
Yeah, it doesn't have that startling.
Then, please, are you going to wear these a lot?
Listen, I've got them on my keychain so that they're
maybe surgically implanted.
No, just wear it when you're around me because I tend to fidget and make noise.
Yeah, have you seen that Neuralink thing? Can you imagine? The Elon Musk, the Neuralink.
What does it actually do?
I've never heard of it. Tell me what it is.
Started a company.
Installed it in the first person.
It's a little chip that
what
has
does it do?
These nodes or wires that go down into an implant into your brain
and do what?
It can read your thoughts apparently somehow. Like you should see the guy who does it. He can think something. And it could, for instance, Stephen Hawking, let's say, who was unable to speak, but he could use that, and he couldn't really move well. So it was very difficult for him to, I think, use his mouth with a little joystick to move something around to write things.
I don't think you could have a real-time conversation with him.
Stephen Hawking?
Yeah, I think
because it was very slow, but I think the Neuralink, it can read your thoughts and type it out, or you can control a video game. I don't know that it's...
We are getting there. There's no question that eventually...
I don't think it's enough to have a conversation.
I think Google will be in your head. I think instead of grabbing your phone and having to look something up, people are going to look back on that and laugh that we had to do that. They're just going to have to close their eyes and think of their question, and the search results are going to show up right there in their brain. And in fact, if you go back 15 years ago to the pilot episode of Shark Tank, some kook went on there and tried to introduce a product where it was implantable headphones. And it would be required by surgery, but the idea was a little transmitter. Unfortunately, it was not well thought out, and there was really no way to recharge it, and they all laughed him off. He didn't get a deal. But it just goes to show you, implantable technology, people have been thinking about this for a long time.
Yeah.
We are going to get there.
I think we will certainly get the ability to do it. It's going to be the adoption.
It's going to take a long time.
I'm just not sure.
Our age, we've lived too long to do something that dramatically different.
Yeah.
But these moron Gen Zs,
Oh,
they'll do it for they'll do it for a
wait. Which is Gen Z? How old?
They're the ones just entering the workforce now. I think the entitled ones that start and then the second day later they want a raise and a promotion.
You know what their
and their Fridays off.
You know what their
and their afternoons off.
Catchphrase should be whenever they're criticized. They should be like, "At least we're not baby boomers."
I mean, which is what they do, right? They give you the okay boomer, which nothing bothers me more as a member of Gen X than one of these young morons that uses the phrase okay boomer. And you want to say, first of all, I don't even think you know what you're saying. Second of all, I was born in 1971. I am not part of the baby boom that started in 1946 after World War II. It is amazing how little they know.
When did it start?
1946 is the beginning of the baby boom. You're not. You're part of the. I'm
part of the greatest generation.
Technically, you were born. You were born during.
You know, my kids have this argument.
Wait, if 1946 started the baby boomer, and I was born in 1945, that means I'm not part of people born in 1940.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. If 1946 started the boomer. I have this argument with my kids.
The idea of the boom,
they believe they're boomer?
Coming home from World War II, everybody got their women pregnant. It created a baby boom. That's where the expression comes from.
Yes, I believe, my kids are 10 and 12, and somehow believe that they are from different generations. The way generational lines work is there are some loose guidelines. I'm sure you will
20
see
20 to 25 year guidelines.
Yes,
but they don't say baby boomers are from 1942 to 1947.
Hold on. I think I can clear up.
Did your father serve in World War II?
No,
unfortunately, he was unable.
Hold on. Okay. Let me say this.
Oh, you mean the fact that he only had one leg?
No. I was trying to figure out.
That made it a little hard.
I was trying to figure out if you were part of the soldiers come home, knock up their wives, and have a baby.
Everybody around me were those people.
Right.
You
were around a lot of baby boomers. Bear in mind, folks, just so you know, his birthday is in November. So, yes, if he had been born 5.5 weeks later, it would have been 1946, and you would have met the definition.
But that's true of every year when somebody says, it's like if I'm 29 years old, and there's a line for people 30 and above, I wouldn't get into that line. It doesn't make any difference. I was born at 20. I'm 29 or 24 or 23. I'm just saying that's what lines do. They say in front of this.
Hold on.
One thing happens behind this. Another thing.
Wait. I think I may be able to change your mind.
Okay.
If you are not a baby boomer, you are part of the silent generation. Well, then, I think anyone who's ever met you.
Yes, let me say this. Just if they've only watched this podcast, I think we know that you're not part of that generation.
But remember also, these are like...
Of course they are. They're arbitrary lines.
No, that's the point you're missing. There aren't bright lines. There are sort of ranges, and the intention is to kind of give you a guideline. But if you were 50... In 1945, that's different than being born then, or if you were 5 in 1945. But the point is it is when you grew up, and it is the pop culture that you absorbed. So being born in 45 or 46, you absorbed the same pop culture. So culturally, you are a baby boomer. It's a cultural demarcation.
A lot of it depends. Like you're the oldest sibling in your family. I'm the youngest sibling, and that plays into it too. Because I always grew up, and I had an older brother and sister, so they got the music they were listening to, the shows they were allowed to watch. I got to kind of ride that a little bit, and so I always felt like I was a little early to things. You being the oldest in your family, you probably kind of brought your siblings along into things. You were probably the first one to break through. With all of those things.
All I'm saying is I'm not a boomer.
No, you are. It's more of, you're thinking of it as a chronological, precise definition.
Someone in some...
It is a cultural definition.
Has come up
if you were being asked to serve in Vietnam, then you're absolutely a boomer. Because those are the people that were asked to serve in Vietnam. Now, if you were born during Vietnam... So 65 to 75, 76, then you're Gen X.
Then you're saying
if you're born from 1980 then you're a millennial.
These lines that everybody says people born here are there. You're saying they're nonsense.
No, there aren't lines.
What's so hard?
They
they're
give
fuzzy.
like a range. Yeah, exactly.
They don't say it's a fuzzy day.
Who's they do?
If
Who's
you're
the
born
they? Why aren't we the they?
Oh my God!
Why aren't we the they?
Look up.
We are the they.
Look up Boomer. And tell me
Andy
what
and I are the
says.
they that you're referring to, and we're telling you it's fuzzy.
It's
I don't care what you tell me. I'm saying look it up.
It's not
the they that you were referring to. They say we are
you
the
are
they.
two people.
Let's move
that
on.
happen to be a certain age.
No, I've done a little research because of the arguments between my children about how these generational things work,
might be right.
and they're not designed to be bright lines. No. They're designed to be ranges, and if you are on the cusps so that culturally you have the same characteristics and the same experiences, you're part of that generation. And it could have to do with older siblings or younger. It could have to do with
the zeitgeist.
No resources say anything like that. They give you a date.
That's not true.
They give you a
100% wrong.
No,
you could not, first of all, I know for a fact you've never looked this up.
I can agree with that.
Well, no,
You're making this up.
I agree with
literally,
that.
folks,
Yes.
while we're sitting here, you are watching a man make up facts
for all of you
that are coming from his brain and not from any other resource.
For the tens of millions of you watching today, look it up. When you look it up, will it say a date range, or will it say here's a date range, but it's
Let me
fuzzy,
ask you this.
and if you were born close, you're probably
We're
the other.
going to have to put a pin in this, and maybe if anybody is watching this
bet there could be
that
a
happens to be an expert in this topic, please reach out to us. Also, if you were abducted by aliens or know someone who was, please reach out to us.
Talk to you.
Lastly,
yes, if you were abducted by an alien, especially,
definitely.
Honestly, we will not make fun of you. We want to hear your story.
Hey, how
we
much
are
do you,
believers.
How much do you tip when you leave a hotel room? How much do you leave as a tip for the housekeeping staff?
$20.
What if you're there?
If I was leaving a tip.
Did you leave a tip?
Of course, every time. You don't?
I know.
I don't get rooms. I don't get anybody. I don't have my room serviced.
Yeah, but they have to service it when you leave.
When you leave, and that's why.
Why don't you? You never.
I don't want anybody near my stuff.
Yeah,
I want everybody to just stay away from my stuff. I don't need to be. Do I clean my own condo every day? No. Because it doesn't have to be cleaned every day. I don't make my bed. I don't need a fresh towel.
Okay.
None of that.
So for you, it doesn't really make a difference if you're there for 2 days or 20 days.
Right.
In fact, if you're there for 20 days, you're kind of saving them work.
But I might be costing them money because maybe the person who would have stayed there would have given them daily tips. I would like I only carry 20. It's not to be. I don't know how that sounds, but that's all I have.
Well, I think most people do because you get them out of the ATM and then you never use cash. So money will stay in your pocket forever.
I wonder how many people tip.
Oh, I bet the percentage is low.
I would think it's low.
Slow, but I will say this. I almost don't blame the non-tippers. You stay at a hotel. I feel like every single thing that they do for you, there's an expectation that you give them something back. And there's a lot of stuff you never asked them to do. You didn't want them to do. I can take my suitcase from the car that just dropped me off the 20 feet to where I'm checking in. But I don't want to give a guy $5. I just landed. I don't want to give him $5.
Well, you know the worst part of that is? It's the guy who takes it from the car and puts it by the front door is one tip. And then the guy that brings it from the front door to your room is a secondary tip.
I think they generally...
that is. And then when you drop them off at the bellman, when you get them back from the bellman...
Let me finish.
You're expected to tip two people.
If you ask them, oftentimes what you should ask them is, do you guys pool your tips? Because I think most of the time they do, and you just tip the one of them at the end, generally the person who delivers it.
I've never had that conversation.
I would ask them, say, hey, do you guys pool your tips? Or, and I can give it to the guy who brings it up, and they'll usually say
what
yes.
What I'm saying is, though, it seems as though the expectation, there will be two pretty much identical tips. I mean, I don't cut it in half, but I kind of resent, and also I resent when they see you rolling a case to the taxi cab or Uber, how they materialize out of no place and pick it up and put it in
I'm already paying and tipping an Uber driver who is going to assist with the luggage if I need the assistance.
And if you're staying in a nice hotel today, which you're paying a bunch of money for.
A lot of money.
You know, it seems as though, while I understand the theory of tipping the maids, there is somewhat of a, what am I paying all this money for?
Well, but it's you eat at a very nice restaurant. There's an expectation that you tip the server.
We also understand that's part of the wage. They don't get a minimum wage.
I don't know.
I cannot imagine that housekeepers in hotels are being paid well.
Have you guys seen that? You have a tipping option on the shipping and handling when you order goods. Like, have you ever even considered giving a tip when they give you that option?
No. There are some tips I would never, ever consider.
Where do they grow the cojones big enough?
You know where it comes from?
From, what do you call it, COVID. Everybody, tips went crazy. Like, I went to Dave & Buster's.
Yeah.
And bought tokens.
Yeah.
And on the receipt, there's a place to tip for that.
It's ridiculous.
Give them a token as a tip.
That's right.
Here's a
but
token
you know where that came from? It's people who don't run good businesses, who can't make a go of it, so they don't pay their people well, and they expect you to pay the salaries of their people. That's my problem with Amazon. Yeah. Listen, I order a lot of stuff on Amazon, but if you really think about it, Jeff Bezos is one of the wealthiest people in the world, yet he does not pay many of his people a wage that is enough for them to be off government assistance.
Right.
So that Amazon
Walmart's the same?
Is subsidized by my tax dollars.
Exactly.
And my shopping habits.
But let me tell you what's worse, though. Amazon's unique selling position,
Why do you always have to wipe your nose on the microphone?
I just like doing it.
Oh, okay.
Amazon is a convenience.
Do you think my son is
Uncle Julio?
Oh, I have something about Jeff Bezos.
Me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Yeah, what about that?
That's Julio.
No, don't they
me
say
and
Julio?
I thought Jesus Christ. Now, in all fairness.
See, I told you it wasn't a joke.
To his defense.
Yeah.
We say July. We don't say Hulai. Anyway. Amazon is a convenience-based.
If that's your best defense,
proposition.
You need a new lawyer.
That is the proposition of Amazon is based on convenience. Where I have a problem is with Walmart, because their proposition is prices.
Yeah.
Amazon doesn't make that their proposition. Their proposition is convenience. We're going to bring it to your door by the morning. Walmart, it's price. Now, the problem is they have more employees than any other company in the world in terms of the number of employees that are getting Medicare, Medicaid. And so, because they're not providing health insurance. So what happens is, who pays for the Medicare, the Medicaid? We do as taxpayers. So you have to really add all of our tax dollars onto these low prices that they're keeping at Walmart. And then you see what you're actually paying for their products. And they're not low prices. You'd be much better off sending all of your business to Target, who at least seems to do a better job.
I'm slightly better with that because I bet if you looked up the average Walmart shopper, I'll bet they skew elderly and lower income compared to Amazon.
They make $2.3 billion in profit every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Wait, that's not net profit. Is that gross sales?
That is net profit.
Oh, that's great.
Wait. Hold on.
Let's start
So
that.
wait, you're saying, hold on, let me get out my calculator here. What do you say? 2.3 what?
That's about
billion.
700 billion.
No, there's no way.
No, that's between them and Costco. Wait. That's the two combined.
You mean Sam's?
No, I mean Walmart and Costco.
Why Walmart?
No, Sam's is owned by Walmart.
I understand that Sam's is. I'm talking about Walmart, which has got 11,000 stores. They're the largest retailer in the world.
Why are the two of them combined?
Well, because the other largest retailer is Costco.
Oh, so you're okay. I see.
They have almost $1 trillion a year.
They have
net profit.
They have over $500 billion a year in revenue. That's the word you're looking for.
They don't have
revenue.
Wait,
they do.
No.
But that's just Walmart. Walmart and Costco combined.
Wait,
so let's say they have,
hold on.
Let's say they have.
That is 839 billion.
Almost $1 trillion.
500 million. Almost $1 trillion in profit between the two. That's not
you're
possible.
talking about net profit.
Now, folks, you're seeing somebody making up
such thing as gross profits. There's gross
P&L statement.
Well, yeah,
that's
gross
revenue.
revenues. Okay.
And then there's net profit.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you, but next time we have one of these, I'm going to get you the precise number.
I want it to be noted that I'm the only person who has not made stuff up yet on this podcast.
And Brody, you looked that up. You know where I.
You made something up that was pointed out. I don't remember what it was.
It was a lie. I mean, if he calls,
you're saying what you said was a lie?
No, he said what I said is a lie. I don't believe it was.
Well, but then I asked you if you've ever actually looked it up, and you admitted you hadn't. So then I knew it was a lie.
Wait, you think I've never looked up what the different generations are called?
No,
Listen, not what
it's
they're
not
called,
that.
but
it's
the specific rule about whether it's a hard line or a soft line.
Well, believe it or not, when they list the generations, they also list the dates.
Yes, but they don't
birth.
tell you if that's a hard line or a soft line.
No, I assume when they say it's from one year to the next, that's their definition.
Exactly. So what you're saying is you've never looked up what you previously claimed to have looked up.
No,
because what we were talking about looking up.
What I said I looked up.
We actually do like each other.
What the name of the different generations?
Then you weren't listening. What he was saying was the research. Because what he had said was the research that we were discussing was the philosophy behind how the
whether
dates,
it's a hard line or a soft line.
Yeah. That's what he was referring to.
And all I'm saying is when I've looked it up, they give you dates.
Yeah.
They don't then qualify everything
Correct.
I've just said.
But if you go a little deeper down the rabbit hole, you'll see
then the question
it's more philosophical.
Did I go as deep as you went,
folks?
I
think the important thing is, and we've hit the hour. I just want to remind everybody of this delicious Spot Cafe.
It was delightful.
With locations in both St. Anne and O'Fallon, Missouri. Everything I ate here, I thought was top notch. In all seriousness,
it was great. Good. Yeah. There really are.
If anybody's going to send us food for free.
We don't want it,
but I will not accept it. Our opinion cannot be bought.
That's not the reason.
Oh, it is
if
for me.
If a small business wants to bring us food, we will gladly accept it, and we will gladly pay for it, and we will gladly tip handsomely for you bringing it, because I don't want anybody to bring us.
That's very nice of you. See,
well, I don't
see
want
flashes of class. I like it.
No, I want to support a local business.
Me too. Listen, why do you think we do all of this?
Yeah.
We're a local business, and it's worth mentioning because this comes up once in a while.
So if anybody wants to hire us and pay us,
listen,
we're happy to do that.
If you have a choice between hiring a St. Louis-based or a Kansas City-based, a local law firm,
or a nationally
compared
based
to a national one, you always want the local one. Not just because they know the courts and the judges and they know the roads and they know what you're talking about and you can meet them in person, but because you want to keep the money in your community.
That's right.
That's the key and I won't mention them by name, but there's a certain very large national law firm. You probably have seen their ads. All of their people, that money is all going to Florida.
There is.
And in Florida's got so much money, they don't even have state income tax. Florida doesn't need your money, but St. Louis needs your money.
Desperately.
And all of our people, our lawyers, our staff, they live here. So the money that they earn recirculates over and over again to St. Louis businesses. Nobody from that Florida firm is going to be eating at the Sweet Spot Cafe.
Not a chance.
But we will be there. At least
again
I'll be there. Again and again.
That's right.
I'll go just for the donuts. I mean, even if I just did that, it would be worth it.
I wondered, Jen, do you know, do they make the donuts on-prem? You didn't happen to see a donut making operation?
Well, you know what? I'm going to suggest that they probably don't because they have two locations. They probably have a centralized kitchen for things like donuts and then split them out.
They're good
Outstanding.
donuts.
Anyway,
nice people.
If you stuck in this long, you are the salt of the earth. And or glutton for punishment.
Either that or asleep.
You need to get a life.
Oh, that would be nice if people put on our podcast to go to sleep. Wake up! See, I just messed you up. I just we're in this nice peaceful rest.
No.
I took them up. Pay attention.
All right.
All right, that's it.
That's a wrap.
Peace out.
Okay.